These 11 lessons from Stoic philosophy are more than just ancient wisdom. They are practical, actionable tools that can transform your life right now. Every single day, you have the chance to apply these principles, to shape your mindset, and to steer your life in a direction of purpose, clarity, and resilience. These lessons are not abstract. They are meant to be lived. When you start your day by embracing them, you begin to notice the subtle shifts. Your mind becomes sharper, your emotional state steadier, and your capacity to handle whatever life throws at you expands exponentially. But it doesn't end with watching this video. The real power comes when you put these lessons into practice. I'm challenging you to take the 7-day Stoic challenge. For the next week, commit to following these lessons each morning. Start by waking up with intention. Read a Stoic quote. Reflect on your day ahead. Practice gratitude. Embrace your fate. Train your body. Forgive yourself. Journal your thoughts and actions. Every morning, apply these lessons, and watch how your perspective shifts. You'll begin to see how your emotional state stabilizes, how the chaos of life becomes more manageable, and how your productivity reaches new heights. The beauty of Stoic philosophy is that it doesn't require you to be perfect. It doesn't demand that you transform overnight, but it does ask for consistency. It asks for commitment. It asks you to choose how you respond to life every single day. And over time, you'll begin to notice the transformation. I've personally felt the impact of these practices. I've seen how a simple morning routine of gratitude and reflection can set the tone for the day. I've witnessed how forgiving myself for past mistakes frees me to move forward with clarity. And I can tell you from experience, when I consistently apply Stoic principles, life feels more in my control, more purposeful, and more fulfilling. So, I encourage you to start today. Take that first step. Commit to the challenge. Don't let another day pass by without practicing the habits that will sharpen your mind and elevate your life. I want to hear about your journey. Share your experiences in the comments below. Let me know which lesson resonated with you the most and how it has impacted your day. If you found value in this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any more content designed to help you master your mind and live a more intentional life. Remember, your mind is the most powerful tool you have. Train it daily, and you'll be amazed at how everything else in your life begins to fall into place. Your journey starts now. Let's make this week the beginning of something extraordinary. Ever felt like your mind is already in overdrive before your feet even hit the floor? The alarm rings. You swipe it off with a groggy hand, and there it is. The never-ending loop of thoughts. What you need to do. What you should have done. What's coming up. The day hasn't even begun, but it feels like you're already drowning in a sea of mental clutter. You've been there, haven't you? That overwhelming sense of being stuck, not knowing how to break free from the tidal wave of distractions. But what if, just for a moment, you could turn it all off? What if you could hit pause on the chaos before it even started? This isn't some far-fetched fantasy. It's a choice you can make. Right now, today. the power to control your morning, and therefore, your entire day, is within your grasp. But how? How do you break free from the mental chaos that consumes you every morning? That's where the wisdom of Stoic philosophy comes in. Imagine starting your morning with intention, with purpose. Imagine a morning where your mind isn't hijacked by the noise. Instead, you control it, you set the tone for your day. What if I told you that the Stoics, with their centuries-old wisdom, could help you do just that? It's not about removing the distractions. No, it's about shifting how you respond to them. The Stoics understood that the only thing we truly control in life is our own mind. Everything else is out of our hands. So, if you can master the art of disciplining your mind each morning, you'll unlock a sense of calm and control that will stay with you throughout the day. But it's not as simple as just thinking positive. Stoicism isn't about ignoring your feelings or suppressing your thoughts. It's about learning how to handle them, to not let them dictate your actions. This requires practice, effort, and a willingness to embrace discomfort. But it's more than worth it. The rewards are priceless. The first lesson the Stoics offer is one of awareness. Wake up each morning with the realization that today is a blank slate. The distractions, the pressures, the chaos, they are external forces. They do not define you unless you let them. The key is to separate yourself from these external forces. Instead of reacting, take a moment to pause, breathe, reflect on your values and priorities. It's only when you approach your day with clarity that you can truly begin to focus on what matters most. But awareness is just the beginning. The next step is to cultivate resilience. Life won't always be calm. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But the Stoics teach us that it's not about avoiding these challenges. It's about how we respond to them. Do we let them knock us off course? Or do we use them as opportunities to grow stronger? Incorporating these Stoic practices into your morning routine can transform your life. You'll no longer feel at the mercy of your thoughts and distractions. Instead, you'll be the one in control. And that control, it starts with discipline. The discipline to take charge of your mind, your day, and your life. By the end of this video, you'll have 11 powerful Stoic lessons that will not only help you gain control of your mornings but also give you a sense of inner peace that will carry you through the day. So, stay tuned, because what you're about to learn could change the way you approach every single day from here on out. The power of silence in the morning is understated. Yet it's one of the most profound practices you can implement in your daily routine. Too often, we wake up already overwhelmed, already running behind, trying to catch up with a world that never stops moving. The noise around us doesn't give us a chance to breathe, to think clearly. It's as if the world's expectations are waiting for us to catch up, to hit the ground running, without us ever really being ready. The Stoics understood that the key to mastering your day is mastering your mind. And the mind can't be mastered if it's already tangled up in the chaos of external distractions. When you wake up, take a moment to detach yourself from everything that demands your attention. It's not about escaping the world but about finding a brief pause. A space where your mind can recalibrate before it gets swept into the whirlwind of the day. 3 to 5 minutes might seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but it's a game changer. In that time, you're not just avoiding distractions, you're actively reclaiming control over your thoughts. Think about it. For just a few minutes, you choose to let go of everything that could potentially pull you in multiple directions. You take back your focus. You take back your center. This practice might seem simple, but it has a profound effect. It helps you ground yourself in the present moment, instead of spiraling into a vortex of what-ifs and should-haves. The challenge, of course, is that silence often feels uncomfortable. Our minds crave stimulation, and when there's none, they start to wander. This is where the magic happens. The discomfort is part of the process. The ability to sit with that discomfort, to be present without running away from the silence, is where true self-discipline begins. It's in that stillness that we learn to control the chaotic thoughts that typically dictate our lives. When you embrace this practice, you'll notice a shift in how you respond to the rest of your day. The noise of the world will still be there, the emails, the texts, the obligations, but your reaction to it will be different. You'll be more mindful, more centered, less likely to get swept up in the emotional current that often leads to stress and overwhelm. You'll find that your mind isn't running around like a wild animal anymore. It's calm, steady, and ready to face whatever challenges come its way. Now, I'll be honest, this isn't always easy. Our minds are powerful, and sometimes it takes more than just a few minutes to reset. But that's okay. The Stoics didn't believe in perfection, they believed in progress. They understood that every small step toward discipline is a victory. Every time you choose silence, you choose to rise above the noise. And with each choice, you get stronger. This isn't about seeking perfection. It's about finding peace amidst the chaos. It's about saying to yourself, I am in control here. I decide how I show up today. By starting your day in silence, you're not just resetting your mind, you're giving yourself the power to navigate the day with intention, with clarity, and with purpose. Choosing a virtue for the day isn't just a way to focus your energy. It's a commitment to embodying a higher version of yourself. It's about making a deliberate choice every morning, giving yourself a clear and powerful intention that will guide you through whatever the day may bring. In a world full of noise, distractions, and constant demands, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. But by identifying a single virtue to focus on, you create an anchor that pulls you back to your true center. Patience, for example, is one of the most powerful virtues you can choose. We all know what it's like to feel the tension build up in our bodies when we're stuck in traffic, waiting for a slow computer, or dealing with a colleague who just doesn't get it. The world moves at a pace that often frustrates us, and that frustration spills over into our day, affecting our mood, our interactions, and ultimately, our productivity. But what if every time you felt that familiar pang of impatience, you didn't react negatively? What if you saw it as an opportunity, a moment to practice patience, Choosing patience doesn't mean suppressing your frustration. It's about acknowledging the feeling, but then consciously choosing a different response. Instead of letting impatience control you, you take control of the situation. You remind yourself that this is a moment of practice, a moment to strengthen your ability to remain calm and composed. Imagine how different your day would feel if, instead of reacting with irritation, you responded with understanding and calm. Every moment of waiting would transform into a chance to grow stronger in this virtue, turning ordinary annoyances into powerful moments of self-discipline. This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. There will be times when your patience is tested beyond what you think you can handle. But this is where the real growth happens. Stoicism teaches us that life is full of challenges, but it's not the challenges themselves that define us. It's how we respond to them. By consciously choosing a virtue to focus on each day, you take ownership of your response to life's events. It's not about expecting the world to change. It's about changing your perception and your behavior in the face of the world's unpredictability. The beauty of choosing a daily virtue is that it's not something abstract. It's something you can apply in every moment. Let's say you choose courage. Every time you feel the hesitation to speak up, to take a risk, or to try something new, you have a built-in reminder to push through that fear. You don't have to wait for a monumental moment to be courageous. Courage is found in the small moments, the decisions to step outside your comfort zone, to say what needs to be said, to act even when doubt creeps in. By making courage your daily focus, you develop a habit of bravery that becomes second nature over time. The power of focusing on one virtue for the day is that it gives you clarity, focus, and direction. It's not about trying to be perfect or flawless. It's about consciously living with purpose. By choosing to embody a specific virtue, you align your actions with your highest values, and in doing so, you transform the mundane moments of life into opportunities for personal growth. And as you continue to practice this, day after day, you'll find that these virtues become not just things you do, they become who you are. The Stoics understood something that most of us try to ignore. Life is unpredictable. We can plan, organize, and prepare, but there will always be things outside of our control that will throw us off course. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that everything should go smoothly. We expect our days to unfold as we've imagined them, with no surprises, no hiccups. But when things inevitably go wrong, we find ourselves overwhelmed, unprepared, and frustrated. The Stoics, however, didn't just wait for these challenges to hit. They planned for them. Premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, is one of the most powerful tools the Stoics used to navigate life's uncertainty. It's not about anticipating failure or living in fear, but about being mentally prepared for whatever comes your way. By imagining the potential obstacles, you take the power away from them. You stop fearing them because, in your mind, you've already dealt with them. Think about it. Every day we face the unknown. Traffic that makes us late, a colleague who misses a deadline, or a technical glitch that derails an important meeting. If we're not prepared for these hiccups, they can ruin our day, knock us off balance, and make us reactive instead of proactive. But if, before your day begins, you take a few minutes to mentally rehearse the potential problems, you're training your mind to handle them with calm and composure. This doesn't mean you should dwell on the worst-case scenarios. It's not about focusing on the negative, but rather about mentally equipping yourself with a sense of control. By envisioning traffic jams, missed trains, or forgotten meetings, you're not inviting them into your life. You're simply preparing yourself to respond in a calm, measured way when they inevitably occur. This mental rehearsal is a form of strength training. You're strengthening your ability to stay composed, to make quick decisions, and to act with clarity, no matter what life throws at you. It's easy to get swept up in the emotions of the moment when things go wrong. We react impulsively, we get frustrated, we panic, but with premeditatio malorum, you shift your focus. Instead of being caught off guard, you've already imagined how you'll respond. When the inevitable obstacle arises, you can approach it with a clear mind. You've mentally rehearsed how you'll handle it, and that mental preparation allows you to remain steady and focused in the face of adversity. What I've found personally is that when I take the time to prepare myself for potential setbacks, I no longer feel powerless when they occur. Instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks, I see them as opportunities to practice resilience, patience, and adaptability. The surprise is gone. The anxiety is gone. In its place is a calm determination. The Stoics were right. It's not the event that causes stress, but our response to it. When we prepare ourselves mentally, we take away the power that obstacles have to disturb our peace. We begin to realize that obstacles aren't a sign of failure. They're just part of the process. So, before you start your day, take a moment to picture what could go wrong. Visualize the challenges, and then, more importantly, visualize yourself handling them with grace. When life doesn't go as planned, you'll already be mentally prepared to take it in stride. The truth is, we live in a world full of chaos and unpredictability. Every day, we're bombarded by things we can't control: traffic, weather, the opinions of others, unexpected crises. And yet, how often do we find ourselves stressed, anxious, and frustrated over things that are completely outside our realm of influence? It's easy to get caught up in the cycle of worry and frustration, focusing on everything that's going wrong, everything that's out of our hands. But the Stoics teach us a critical lesson. Stop wasting your energy on the things you can't control. Control what you can. It sounds simple, but this concept can be a game changer. Think about it. Every time you let an external circumstance dictate your emotional state, you give up your power. Every time you allow someone else's actions or the unpredictability of life to throw you off course, you hand over the reins of your life to something beyond your control. The Stoics understood that the only true power we have is in how we respond to what happens to us. This isn't about denying the reality of challenges or pretending that life is always going to be smooth. It's about choosing how to respond when things inevitably go wrong. It's about choosing how to show up each day, regardless of the external circumstances. The Stoics believed that while we can't control the world around us, we can control how we react to it. We can control our thoughts, our attitudes, and our actions. This is incredibly liberating. When you focus on what you can control, you immediately free yourself from the mental burden of trying to manage the uncontrollable. You stop stressing over things like how others perceive you, or how things might play out in the future. Instead, you focus on how you can show up with integrity, how you can manage your emotions, and how you can act with purpose. This shift in mindset doesn't just make life more manageable, it makes it more meaningful. For example, let's say you're facing a challenging situation at work. Maybe you're dealing with a difficult colleague, or perhaps your project isn't going as planned. The natural response is often frustration, worry, or self-doubt. But instead of getting caught up in what's outside your control, the other person's behavior, the circumstances surrounding the project, ask yourself, what can I control? You can control how you respond to the situation, how you choose to remain calm and composed, and how you move forward with clarity. That's where your power lies. This isn't always easy. We're human, and we're bound to get upset, disappointed, or frustrated when things don't go our way. But that's where the Stoic practice comes in. It's about being mindful of those emotions, acknowledging them, and then making a conscious choice to focus on the things that you can actually influence. This is where mental strength and resilience are built, not by avoiding challenges, but by embracing them and choosing how to respond. When I've applied this principle to my own life, I've noticed a shift. I'm less reactive, less stressed, and more focused. I no longer feel at the mercy of circumstances or other people. I've learned to conserve my mental energy for the things that truly matter, like my actions, my thoughts, and my attitude, and that's where true control lies. When you focus on what you can control, everything else becomes secondary. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start taking ownership of your life. That's the real freedom the Stoics were talking about. The truth about procrastination is that it often isn't about laziness or lack of desire. It's about fear. Fear of failure, fear of not being perfect, or even fear of the unknown. We get paralyzed by the idea of doing something wrong, or not doing it the right way. So we wait for the perfect moment, the perfect mood, the perfect set of circumstances. But here's the problem. That perfect moment never comes. We convince ourselves that tomorrow will be the day we finally take action. And then tomorrow turns into next week, and next week turns into next month. We remain stuck, frozen in a cycle of inaction, while time slips through our fingers. The Stoics understood this, and that's why they taught us a simple but profound lesson. Action comes first. Motivation doesn't magically appear when we sit around and wait for it. It's the act of doing, the smallest movement forward, that sparks motivation. And the more we do, the more we want to do. Think about it. How often have you woken up, not feeling particularly excited or motivated to start the day? Maybe you're tired, Maybe you're stressed. Maybe you just want to stay in bed for a little longer. But here's the key. If you allow yourself to stay in that state of inertia, nothing will change. Your brain will stay stuck in that cycle of resistance. But if you take that first step, even a tiny one, you create momentum. You break the mental barrier that's holding you back. For instance, making your bed in the morning might seem insignificant, but it's the first thing you can do to signal to your brain that the day has started. It's a simple task, but once you complete it, you've already accomplished something. You've already taken action, and from there, you can build. Brew your coffee, read a page of a book. Each small task you complete generates a sense of progress, and that progress propels you forward. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but the more you do, the bigger it gets. This is the power of action. It's not about waiting for inspiration to strike. It's about creating your own momentum. I can tell you from experience, when I've been stuck in a place of procrastination, the hardest part is getting started. But once I take that first step, it's like the floodgates open. The ideas flow, the energy picks up, and the task that seemed daunting suddenly becomes manageable. Now, I know this isn't always easy. There are days when the weight of procrastination feels like it's suffocating. But this is where the Stoic philosophy really comes in handy. It's about pushing through the discomfort. It's about making the decision to act, even when you don't feel like it. Because, as the Stoics believed, our thoughts and feelings don't control us. We control how we respond to them. When we take action, we regain control over our mindset and our life. So, the next time you wake up and feel that resistance, remember this. Motivation follows action. Don't wait for it to find you. Go out and create it. Start with one small task, and let that first step set the tone for the rest of your day. The momentum will build, and before you know it, you'll be on your way to accomplishing more than you ever thought possible. Memento mori, the Stoic practice of remembering death, is often misunderstood. It's not a dark or morbid concept meant to make us fearful of our own mortality. Instead, it's a call to wake up and truly live. Think about it for a moment. How many days do we let slip by without making them count? We go through the motions, put off important things, tell ourselves that we'll get to it tomorrow or next week. But what if tomorrow never comes? What if the very next breath we take is our last? This thought isn't meant to depress you. It's meant to inspire you. The reality of our finite existence should act as a catalyst to live more intentionally, more fully. Every morning, as you wake up, remember that this day might be your last. I'm not suggesting you live in a constant state of panic or fear, but rather, you embrace the awareness that life is fragile, unpredictable, and brief. This understanding forces us to ask ourselves, what truly matters today? When you remember that your time is limited, everything changes. Suddenly, the little annoyances and distractions of daily life seem insignificant. The endless cycle of work, emails, social media, and busyness takes a backseat. You start focusing on what really matters. the phone call to a loved one that you've been putting off, the goal you've been too scared to pursue, the opportunity to simply sit and appreciate the present moment. This awareness of death doesn't just inspire action, it transforms our entire perspective. We stop waiting for the perfect moment to make changes or take risks. We realize that there is no perfect moment, only the present. The time to act is now. I've personally found that when I reflect on memento mori, I feel a surge of urgency, not out of fear, but out of excitement. There is so much I want to do, and knowing that time is limited only makes me want to dive into life with more vigor. Memento mori isn't about making you afraid of death. It's about making you aware of life. It's about making sure that each day, each moment, counts. It's about living with purpose, with intention, and with gratitude. I've found that once I truly internalize the idea that my time is finite, I stop taking things for granted. The simple act of being present with people, of focusing on what really matters, becomes the priority. So, the next time you wake up, take a deep breath and remind yourself that this day might be your last. Don't let it pass by unnoticed. Call that friend, pursue that dream, step out of your comfort zone, or just sit quietly and appreciate the fleeting beauty of the world around you. Life is short, but if we live with this awareness, we can make every moment a meaningful one. Amor fati is one of the most powerful and transformative principles of Stoicism. Yet it's also one of the hardest to grasp. The idea of loving your fate, especially when things don't go as planned, can feel counterintuitive. Our natural instinct is to resist when life throws us curveballs, whether it's a personal setback, a career obstacle, or simply the chaos of daily life. We fight, we complain, we wish things were different. But the Stoics teach us that this resistance is where our suffering lies. It's not the adversity itself that hurts us, but our unwillingness to accept it. Amor fati is the art of accepting, even loving, whatever comes your way. When something unexpected happens, our first reaction is often to resist. It's easy to get frustrated when plans fall apart or when life doesn't unfold the way we imagined. But this resistance only adds more suffering. It takes away our power. When you choose to fight against what's happening, you waste energy on something you can't change. Instead, the Stoics urge us to do something radically different. Embrace it. Love it, see it as part of your journey, not as something to fear or avoid. This doesn't mean you have to like every setback or difficult situation. It doesn't mean you should ignore your feelings of frustration or disappointment. But amor fati is about shifting your mindset from one of resistance to one of acceptance. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this?" The beauty of this mindset shift is that it transforms adversity into an opportunity. Every obstacle becomes a challenge to overcome, a lesson to learn, or a chance to develop resilience. I've personally found that when I embrace difficult moments instead of avoiding them, I grow in ways I never expected. What once seemed like a failure becomes a stepping stone to something greater. This doesn't mean I don't feel frustration or disappointment, but I've learned to take those feelings and channel them into growth. I've learned to trust that even in the most difficult situations, there's something valuable to be gained. Amor fati isn't about passivity or accepting things without effort. It's about taking proactive ownership of your fate. When you embrace your challenges, you take control of how you respond to them. You're no longer a victim of circumstances. You're an active participant in your own life. This shift in perspective makes you unstoppable. You become someone who faces difficulties head-on, knowing that each one is a chance to become stronger, more capable, and more resilient. So, the next time life throws you a curveball, instead of resisting, try embracing it. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Turn the adversity into an opportunity for growth. With amor fati, you begin to see that every experience, whether positive or negative, is a chance to evolve and become the best version of yourself. And when you love your fate, no challenge is too great. We often hear that a strong mind leads to a strong life. But what about the body? The Stoics understood that the connection between mind and body isn't just metaphorical, it's deeply practical. A strong mind needs a strong body, just as a sharp, disciplined mind requires physical discipline to thrive. Too often, we focus on mental growth, reading, reflecting, meditating, yet neglect the body that carries us through every moment. But the truth is, physical discipline and mental discipline are inseparable. When you train your body, you train your mind. Every morning, you have an opportunity to set the tone for the rest of your day, not just through your thoughts, but through the way you treat your body. It doesn't matter if it's just 5 minutes of stretching, a brisk walk, or a short jog. The key is to move. Moving your body wakes you up in ways your mind cannot do on its own. It's a signal to yourself that you're in control, that you're capable, that you are not at the mercy of fatigue or stress. There's a profound clarity that comes with physical activity. When you engage in exercise, your mind begins to clear, your focus sharpens, and you find yourself more present. It's not just about the physical benefits, though those are important, but the mental benefits that come with it. Exercise releases endorphins, yes, but it also clears mental fog, reduces anxiety, and provides a sense of accomplishment that sticks with you throughout the day. I've found that on days when I skip physical activity, I'm often more sluggish, mentally foggy, and less focused. It's almost as though I haven't fully woken up, because my mind is still trapped in the slumber of an unmoving body. But when I get up and move, even if it's just stretching or walking for a few minutes, everything changes. My mind feels clearer, my energy levels increase, and I carry a sense of control that can't be replicated by any other practice. Physical discipline also teaches you resilience. Just like the mental exercises we practice, physical activity demands perseverance and effort. Whether it's pushing through a tough workout or simply committing to getting up early, physical activity strengthens your willpower. It teaches you to embrace discomfort and push through it. This is where the connection to mental discipline becomes clear. The same resilience you build when you face physical challenges helps you face the mental challenges of the day. When you train your body, you are training your mind to handle adversity, to push through when things get tough, and to keep going even when you want to quit. But here's the kicker. You don't need to be a fitness expert to experience these benefits. The key is consistency, not intensity. You don't need to run a marathon every morning or lift heavy weights. The simple act of moving your body, even in small ways, reinforces the idea that you are in control. It's a powerful reminder that you're not just drifting through life. You're actively shaping it, physically and mentally. So, the next time you wake up in the morning, don't just roll over and jump straight into work or distractions. Move, stretch, jog, or even just take a walk. It may seem like a small act, but it sets the foundation for the rest of your day. It trains your body, clears your mind, and reminds you that you have the power to shape both your physical and mental state. Before the noise of the world swarms in, before you're swept up in the flood of emails, tasks, and responsibilities, take a brief moment to center yourself. Pick up a book by Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, or Epictetus. Read a quote. Don't just skim it, really absorb it. Let those words settle into your mind, and then take a few minutes to reflect. Ask yourself, how does this quote apply to my life right now? What does it mean for me in this moment, in this very day? It's easy to get caught up in the rush of life, to move through our days on autopilot, reacting to things as they come without any real intention. But when you take a moment to read and reflect on a Stoic quote, you're doing more than just consuming knowledge. You're allowing yourself to tap into a source of wisdom that's lasted for centuries. You're connecting with the thoughts and ideas of people who lived through the very struggles and challenges you face today. And in that moment, you shift your mindset from being a passive observer of your life to an active participant. For example, one of Marcus Aurelius' most powerful quotes is, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." How does that hit you? In a world where we're constantly trying to control everything around us, this reminder is a wake-up call. You can't control what happens at work, how people behave, or the unexpected challenges that come your way, but you can control how you respond to them. This simple idea shifts the power back to you. You stop being at the mercy of external circumstances and take ownership of your reaction. This small shift in thinking can completely transform how you approach your day, your relationships, and your work. Seneca has another quote that I find particularly grounding. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. How often do we waste time on things that don't truly matter? Getting lost in distractions, procrastinating, or obsessing over things we can't control. This quote serves as a reminder to focus on what truly matters, to use the time we have wisely. For me, it's a reminder to prioritize the things that align with my values and goals, rather than getting caught up in the trivial or the urgent but unimportant. The beauty of reading and reflecting on these Stoic quotes is that they don't just stay on the page. They become a part of your mindset, helping you navigate the day with a sense of clarity, purpose, and calm. They provide a mental toolkit to guide you through challenges and keep you grounded when things get chaotic. Instead of reacting impulsively to situations, you start to approach them with a sense of mindfulness and intentionality. When you take just a few moments to read a quote, you're resetting your mind. You're reminding yourself of the timeless wisdom that's available to you, right at your fingertips, and the more you reflect on these ideas, the more they become embedded in your daily life. They stop being just words on a page and become guiding principles that shape how you live, how you respond, and how you move through the world. So, before you dive into the chaos of the day, take a moment to read, reflect, and let the wisdom of the Stoics guide you. It's one of the most powerful ways to set the tone for a day of purpose and control. Journaling is one of the simplest yet most transformative practices you can incorporate into your life. In the hustle and bustle of daily living, it's easy to lose track of ourselves, our thoughts, our emotions, and our growth. We get caught up in the external demands, the to-do lists, the deadlines, and the noise, but journaling provides a sanctuary, a space to pause, reflect, and process. It's not just about writing, it's about looking inward, understanding where you are, and intentionally choosing where you want to go. The Stoics were masters of reflection, and they understood the power of daily introspection. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all practiced some form of journaling, and they did so with a purpose: to evaluate their actions, to learn from their mistakes, and to improve daily. Each day, they would ask themselves 3 critical questions. What did I do well today? Where did I fall short? How can I improve tomorrow? These simple questions are profound because they focus on accountability, growth, and the relentless pursuit of becoming a better version of yourself. I personally find that journaling forces me to slow down and really think about my day. It helps me gain perspective on my actions, my reactions, and my emotions. We often go through life on autopilot, reacting without thinking, responding without understanding why. But when you sit down to journal, you're asking yourself to make sense of your actions, to understand the why behind your decisions, and to reflect on whether or not those decisions align with your values. Take a moment to think about it. How often do you end your day without truly processing it? How many times have you gone to bed with unresolved thoughts or emotions, letting them fester overnight? Journaling gives you a chance to clear that mental clutter. It's like pressing the reset button on your mind. It gives you the space to reflect, to acknowledge your accomplishments, but also to face your shortcomings without judgment. It's through this honest reflection that true growth happens. I've found that by asking myself those 3 Stoic questions at the end of the day, I am able to see patterns in my behavior. When I ask, what did I do well today? I can celebrate the small victories, the moments I showed patience, kindness, or focus. This reinforces positive behavior. But when I ask, where did I fall short? I'm not looking for self-criticism. I'm looking for lessons. Maybe I lost my temper in a stressful situation, Or maybe I didn't prioritize my time as well as I should have. Acknowledging these moments without judgment allows me to learn from them and approach tomorrow with more intention. The final question, how can I improve tomorrow, is perhaps the most important. It turns journaling from a mere reflection into a plan for growth. It's not enough to simply identify our flaws. We need to actively seek improvement. Journaling forces me to think critically about what changes I can make, no matter how small, to be a better version of myself. And over time, these small changes compound. They create lasting improvements in my mindset, my habits, and my life. Journaling doesn't just help you reflect, it helps you improve. It helps you process emotions, learn from mistakes, and create actionable steps toward becoming the person you want to be. It's an investment in your own self-awareness, and it's a powerful tool for personal growth. By committing to this practice daily, you begin to take control of your life in a way that no external circumstance can ever take away from you. You gain clarity, direction, and a deeper understanding of yourself, all of which allow you to move forward with purpose and intention. Gratitude and forgiveness are not just lofty ideals. They are practical tools that can transform your day and, ultimately, your life. In the hustle of everyday life, it's easy to get bogged down by stress, frustration, or past grievances. We carry anger, disappointment, and resentment like invisible weights that drag us down, often without even realizing it. But the truth is, these negative emotions only hold us back. They cloud our judgment, limit our potential, and keep us stuck in a cycle of negativity. That's where the practice of gratitude and forgiveness comes in. Start your morning with gratitude. It's simple, but incredibly powerful. When you wake up, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. These could be big things, like your family or your health, or smaller things that bring you joy. Perhaps the smell of coffee brewing or the quiet moment before the world starts rushing in. By taking the time to acknowledge what you're grateful for, you shift your focus from what you lack to what you already have. This shift in mindset is profound. It doesn't take away life's challenges, but it changes how you perceive them. Gratitude grounds you in the present, making you more aware of the abundance already present in your life. But gratitude is only one side of the equation. The other side is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about condoning someone's behavior or forgetting the past. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional burden that resentment and anger create. Holding onto grudges, whether toward others or yourself, only weighs you down. It ties you to a past that you can't change, keeping you trapped in negative emotions. When you forgive, you release that burden. You let go of the heavy chains of anger, regret, and bitterness, allowing yourself the freedom to move forward. Forgiving yourself can be just as powerful as forgiving others. We often hold ourselves to impossibly high standards and beat ourselves up for mistakes or missed opportunities. But self-forgiveness is essential for growth. If you can't forgive yourself for past actions or perceived shortcomings, you'll never be able to fully embrace the future. You'll always be tethered to that past, unable to move freely toward what's next. By forgiving yourself, you accept that you're human, that you've made mistakes, and that you have the power to learn from them. It's a radical act of self-love and self-acceptance. I've found that when I practice gratitude and forgiveness daily, my mental and emotional state shifts. I feel lighter, more at peace, and more equipped to handle whatever challenges come my way. It's not that life suddenly becomes perfect, but I approach it with a clear heart and mind. I no longer carry the weight of past mistakes or resentments. I no longer get consumed by the things I don't have or the things that went wrong. Instead, I focus on what I can control, my attitude, my mindset, and my ability to move forward. So, make gratitude and forgiveness a part of your daily practice. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each morning. Let go of any grudges or anger, and forgive yourself and others. It's a daily ritual that has the power to free you from the past and open you up to the present, allowing you to live with more clarity, peace, and joy. When you let go of what holds you back, you make room for everything that's waiting to come into your life.